Hello lovely people of the world, Sarah here and welcome back to our channel Love Withstanding. Today's video is going to be all about gestational diabetes, or at least my personal experience with gestational diabetes when I was pregnant with baby number 3, our baby boy Jaden, who is currently 8 weeks old as I'm filming this. And yeah, let's get to it. So when I was about, I would say 9 weeks along in pregnancy, my A1C level was tested, which is basically, so in this blood work, my A1C level came out as 6.1, which my doctor told me is a sign of pre-diabetes, because they said that any score along 5.7% to 6.3 is considered pre-diabetic. Anything 6.3 and up is considered diabetic, or 6.4 and up, is considered diabetic. In case you guys are wondering, I had to learn that gestational diabetes is basically diabetes that you develop during pregnancy. It happens for some moms and for some moms it doesn't. There is a stigma around pregnant women that have or are diagnosed with gestational diabetes, that it most likely happens or occurs among mothers that are bigger in size or have obesity, or mothers that are not active or live a sedentary lifestyle, or mothers that have just not been following a healthy diet and are consuming like lots of sugar-rich foods. But apparently none of that is true, because I know a lot of mothers or women out there that have been diagnosed with gestational diabetes, and they are just the skinniest people, the most active, healthy people in the world. I personally feel like my body mass index was high. I mean, I was a little bit overweight pre-pregnancy for my height. But yeah, that's what it looks like. I mean, that's what I have learned, is that it is not my fault that I have gestational diabetes, that there's a bunch of risk factors and factors that are not within my control that have basically led me to become pre-diabetic. Just to give you an idea, since baby is born now, I was able to maintain and to control my blood sugar levels with diet and exercise, which is thankfully, I'm so thankful for that, because I really was not ready or not willing to take medication such as insulin. I was like, please don't let me get started on that, because they are injectables. I don't have a fear of needles, but I also don't feel comfortable taking medication during pregnancy. Although I have full respect and I completely understand other moms that require to be, that need diabetic medications or any medication during pregnancy. By all means, of course, if you need it and if your doctor advises it, by all means, please continue and do take medication. Do not do what I do. That's just me. It's my personal preference. There is no definite cause for it, why it happens to some women during pregnancy and why it doesn't. But basically, it is diabetes that is caused due to certain hormones that the placenta produces. The placenta produces hormones such as progesterone, prolactin, placental lactogen. I cannot speak, you guys. And all these other hormones that play a role in developing in your baby's growth and development, and they are very, very helpful when it comes to like allowing baby to take in the nutrients that the baby needs. But they also unfortunately cause a carbohydrate intolerance for some moms, and that's what leads to diabetes. So it's not diabetes that it develops during pregnancy because of high blood sugar. It basically is because it's caused by an intolerance to certain carbohydrates. I, for one, have learned that my blood sugar levels spike when I ingest white rice, more so than when I ingest bread, for example. So yeah, that's something I learned, and as well as that I had to watch my sugar intake, but it's more so my carbohydrate that I had to watch, which is mind-blowing for me, because all this time I thought, oh, diabetes was due to, you know, high sugar intake, but apparently even carbohydrate intake, like if you don't control your carbohydrate levels, if you don't watch the type of carbohydrate that you ingest, it can cause your blood sugars to go up. So because I was diagnosed with gestational prediabetes, I basically didn't have to take the glucola test, which is that sugary drink that you had to take between 24 to 28 weeks of pregnancy. And I was just being monitored and classified as in the same realm as gestational diabetes, just to be on the safe side. There were certain risk factors that were out of my control, but also some that are within my control. And I found out from my doctor's office when they had called me and told me, oh, you know, we're going to test you for gestational diabetes. We're going to treat you as though you have gestational diabetes, even though your A1C blood levels are showing that you're pre-diabetic, just to be on the safe side. Basically, I asked them, like, well, I don't understand. I never tested positive for gestational diabetes with my first 2 pregnancies when I had my girls. Why am I testing positive this time? What have I done differently? And they basically said that if I have 2 or more of the following risk factors, they automatically classify me as having gestational diabetes. And here are the risk factors. If you have a relative, a first degree relative with diabetes. So what that means is like your immediate family. So like your parents, your siblings, if any of them have diabetes, type 2 diabetes, then then that is a risk factor for me during pregnancy to be tested. My mom has type 2 diabetes. She developed that now that she has reached her older years. And also my dad, I believe, has high blood sugar. So yes, that would be 2. Oh, so both my parents have it. But they are both taking medication. The second risk factor is if you are of the age of advanced maternal age, so age 35 and up, you automatically are considered high risk for gestational diabetes, which is me. I am currently 36, but when I was pregnant with Jaden and when my A1C level was in the pre-diabetic stage, I basically was 35. So yeah, I qualify. Another risk factor is race or ethnicity. If you are Arab, if you come from an African background, Hispanic, Pacific Islander, Indigenous, East or South Asian, you're at high risk of being predisposed to gestational diabetes. And as you guys know, I have both African and Asian descent. My father is from Sudan and my mother from the Philippines. So yay! I already have 3 risk factors, you guys. Another risk factor is if my A1C level is 5.7% or higher. And as I just told you, my A1C level was 6.1. So yes, I do fall in that category. Being overweight or having a body mass index of overweight and up pre-pregnancy. And that would be me because I don't think I lost much weight after having given birth to my baby number 2. So my pre-pregnancy weight, I would say, had a high BMI or body mass index. I already have had 5 risk factors to predispose me to gestational diabetes, and therefore I was being tested as such. There are more risk factors that I did not qualify for, but other women might. So risk factors like history of hypertension, having polycystic ovarian syndrome, having a history of cardiovascular disease or high cholesterol levels, having had previous gestational diabetes with previous pregnancies, and also having previously given birth to a 9-pound and up baby. So yes, lovely. Most of those risk factors are not within our control, at least the ones that I tested for. So what to do? I was happy that at least my doctor caught onto it early on in my pregnancy. I mean, as early as 9 weeks. That was pretty amazing, because then at least early on, there were things that I could do to help control my blood sugar levels. And yeah, thankfully I was able to just have a diet controlled gestational diabetes all the way to the end until I gave birth to baby. Studies have shown that numbers are increasing for women that test positive with gestational diabetes. Mostly because more and more women are giving birth or having babies a little later in life. Because the trend is that a lot of them are pursuing their career or having babies later on in life. Also, the numbers of gestational diabetes in pregnant women are increasing because of increasing obesity in North America and Canada. So yeah, the works. Studies have also shown that 70% of women that have gestational diabetes go on to develop type 2 diabetes later on in life, at least within the first 30 years. The reason we need to pay attention to gestational diabetes, especially for women that are going through it, is that it doesn't only affect you, it also affects the baby. So for moms, the way it affects moms is that it predisposes you to complications in labor. So later on, when it's time to give birth, it could predispose you to preeclampsia, as well as having a difficult labor because you end up with a big baby. Because gestational diabetes can cause baby to have complications such as macrosomia, which basically means like a baby with a big head, and also a bigger size baby, possibly if it's not controlled. It could also lead to birth trauma, so like a baby having getting his or her head getting stuck in the birth canal, the baby having shoulder dystocia, which is basically shoulder dislocation. Because they're struggling, they're too big to fit through the birth canal. It also increases the chances of stillbirth and possibly miscarriage. So it's a pretty serious thing. I'm not trying to scare you guys, I'm just letting you know that's the fact. That's why we have to try our very best to control or keep our gestational diabetes and blood sugar levels controlled as best as possible. That's why I encourage moms out there, if you're not able to control with diet and exercise, not to beat yourself up, because it isn't your fault. And also, please do consider taking medication. So not only can you possibly develop all these complications for both mom and baby during pregnancy when your gestational diabetes is not controlled, or when your blood sugar levels are not controlled, it can also affect the baby later on in life. So like as a child, it would predispose or make the child more likely to also be obese and to have to develop type 2 diabetes later on. So yeah, pretty serious stuff, which helped motivate me a lot when it comes to controlling my blood sugar levels, although it isn't my fault and it isn't your fault, mamas out there that are currently pregnant and have been told that they have gestational diabetes. You guys, don't feel bad, don't beat yourself up. It's not your fault. Your placenta is just producing all these hormones that baby needs, and unfortunately is causing you to become intolerant to carbohydrates and just jacking up your blood sugar levels. So don't beat yourself up, mamas. A few things that you can do to control your blood sugar levels is to make changes to your diet, as well as lifestyle and exercise. So with diet, I'm going to share with you guys these handouts that my nutritionist has given me. Basically, I was assigned a nutritionist that followed me and monitored me throughout my pregnancy to make sure that my blood sugars are in check, and to help me figure out a plan and a diet that would help keep my blood sugars leveled out. So based on these handouts, as you can see, I mean, you're more than welcome to them. I'll also put a link in the description below. Basically, my go-to smaller snacks are cheese sticks, because I was also working full-time as a nurse at the seniors residence when I was pregnant with Jaden. So yeah, my go-to snacks were easy to eat snacks while I'm on the go. So like cheese sticks, crackers, whole grain crackers, yogurt, preferably Greek yogurt if you can, you guys, and not the flavored ones. It has to be plain, as well as fruits, nuts, eggs. So like boiled eggs, I would pack a boiled egg, keep it in the fridge, and then warm it up by heating up a cup of hot water in a kettle and then just putting that entire boiled egg in there. I normally put it in there peeled. So once I peel the boiled egg, I would submerge it in a cup of hot water, and easy breezy. For my bigger snacks or heavier snacks, which really helped me a lot, even throughout the day, I would have a peanut butter sandwich, a banana, not all at once, you guys. I'm talking like, these are just ideas for snacks that I would have. So I would have only a peanut butter sandwich for one snack. The next snack I would have a banana. And then another idea for a snack would be like a tuna sandwich. And another snack would be like a glass of milk and a fruit. And another snack idea would be oatmeal. So basically, you are encouraged to have 3 full meals as well as 2 to 3 snacks throughout the day. So like breakfast and then a snack 2 to 4 hours later. Lunch and then a snack later. Dinner and then a bedtime snack, and then basically fast for at least 8 hours through the night. So yeah, after your bedtime snack, make sure it's at least 8 hours before your next meal. I had looked into sticking to a keto diet, a ketogenic diet, because that helped me a lot when it comes to like the lifestyle change or dietary changes that I had to make. So a keto diet basically involves like a high protein, high fat and low carb diet, as well as a diet that's rich in fiber. So yeah, that helped me out a lot. I had to learn that I had to portion my plate accordingly, where half of my plate has to be rich in vegetables and salads, and then a quarter of my plate would be my protein, and then the other quarter of my plate would be the starch or complex carbohydrates. You can have carbohydrates during pregnancy. It just has to be portioned, a quarter of a plate or a cup in size. Also, you're encouraged to focus on complex carbohydrates versus the simple ones. So I could still have rice, you guys. I just had to make changes such as focusing on brown rice as opposed to white rice. And then if I do have rice, I portion it to only a cup per meal. I'm also allowed to have bread, so like, but you would have to go with whole grain bread, so whole grain alternatives, so whole grain sandwich, for example, whole grain pasta, whole grain anything, whole grain. Those are all good for you, and they're rich in fiber, so double whammy. So the main thing in gestational diabetes that I had to change was to limit my sugar. So I could have sugar, you guys, but I prefer to, but then I'm encouraged to limit my sugary intake. So for example, donuts, cookies, chocolate, oh my goodness, my favorite stuff. Sodas, I had to limit it. I didn't have, maybe I would have a sip off of Justin's soda every once in a while, but definitely did not have an entire can. I focused on increasing my water intake and just focusing on making that change, where after every meal I would have a glass of water. When I first wake up, I would have a glass of water. Let me show you this size water bottle. I keep my water bottle with me. I drink like half of it when I first wake up, and then I make sure after every meal to drink like the entirety of it in portions. I love water though, so that was pretty easy to do. It was just like staying away from sodas that was like tough, but then I found a way around it. So basically, whenever I craved that bubbly, fizzy drink, I would have sparkling water and then just a dash of, say, ginger ale, or a dash of juice. So orange juice, cranberries, my favorite, which basically quenches my thirst or craving for fizzy, bubbly drinks. So that helps a lot. I mean, of course, I check my blood sugar and it helps a lot. I noticed that it does not affect my blood sugar. Fries, you guys, like I had to limit my intake of fries and chips. Oh my goodness, those are my favorite snacks. But especially during this pregnancy, I was craving burgers and fries, so it was a little tough to limit my fries intake. What I would do is I would make sure I eat a bigger burger. That's just me. A bigger burger or 2 burgers, but I would limit my fries. Or I would have burgers and fries, but make sure I drink a whole bottle of water after, and also I make sure I walk like 15 to 20 minutes after that meal just to level off my sugar. And I noticed a little trick to help with with leveling off my morning fasting blood sugars. I noticed, like, for bedtime snack the night before, if I were to have 1 egg, so 1 boiled egg, I hope you guys like eggs. That 1 boiled egg the night before makes all the difference. And also my nutritionist advised me to have like a protein-rich bedtime snack, such as Greek yogurt, eggs, cheese, anything protein-rich at bedtime snack would help. And also to limit my bedtime snack hours to 9:30 p.m. Yes, I noticed that having a protein-rich snack for my bedtime snack helps level off or keep my blood sugars normal or lower the very next day. I'm talking fasting blood sugars, you guys, because that's usually the blood sugar that you cannot control, right? Because it's like you're fasting through the night when you're sleeping, so your fasting blood sugar level should be normal or lower, and yet when you have gestational diabetes, they tend to be higher. Mine tend to be, I remember it was like as high as 5.4 or 5.3, and I'm like, no. So yeah, I guess I should have discussed blood sugar levels in the beginning. Our units in Canada are different. These are our units in Canada. Your blood sugar level is considered high if it is 5.3 or up for the fasting levels, and 6.7 or up for the post-meal blood sugar levels. I was testing my sugar with this monitor here that I got from the pharmacy. It basically comes with a needle. It looks like this. Looks like this right here. I will take a photo of it in case it's blurry. Comes with a needle or lancet, blood glucose strips, and blood glucose monitor or glucometer. And I had to test my blood by pricking my fingertips 4 times a day. So the fasting, and then 2 hours after my first bite of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So 2 hours after my first bite is what my nutritionist said, and I had to make sure that my levels were controlled. And if ever my levels are out of control, my nutritionist would tell me to try to incorporate a 15 to 20 minute walk after each meal and before testing. So within the 2 hours from my first bite, I would have to try to walk, and of course it was very easy to walk during this pregnancy because I was working full time. But on my days off, I would find that my blood sugars might be out of control after a meal, so I would try to walk like around the house, or it's really easy to do that when you have like 2 very active toddlers anyway that you're chasing after, and also like being a busy mom of 3 keeps me on my toes, so that helps a lot, thankfully. Another trick that I noticed is that if I would have eggs first thing in the morning, it would help keep my blood sugar levels controlled for breakfast. And then the rest of my day, I'm good to go, basically. So yes, eggs were my best friend. White rice was my enemy when it comes to spiking my blood sugars. Everybody responds to food differently. No 2 pregnant women are alike. I can't tell another pregnant woman that tests positive with gestational diabetes that avoid rice or avoid white rice and focus on having eggs, because the next person might say that that bread is what does it for them, that having white bread is what spikes their levels up. So yeah, for me personally, it was white rice that was spiking my levels. And of course, whenever I would ingest a lot of sugar, so like at birthday parties, whenever I'd have too much cake or too much donuts. So yeah, but I noticed as long as I walk it off before I have to check my blood sugar, it helps a lot. At least 15 minutes of walking. They say 10 to 15. I push it to 15 to 20. So yeah, what else? Let's talk about how to control gestational diabetes. So first and foremost, it really helps to monitor your blood sugar levels. So having the blood glucose, like pricking your fingertips and checking those levels helps a lot. Second is diet and exercise. I already covered that. Next is medication. So if you're not able to control your blood sugar levels with diet and exercise, then medication is the next step. And your nutritionist, my nutritionist, your nursing educator, your doctor, whoever it is that follows you, said that there would mainly be two medications that are safe during pregnancy. One is insulin, which is an injectable medication, and the second is metformin, which is an oral medication. Both are safe during pregnancy. Thankfully, I never had to use them, so I can't really speak about them, but please do your own research and find out more about those. And also the last cure to gestational diabetes is the birth of your baby, and also the birthing of your placenta. So once you've given birth, your blood sugar levels should level off and be normal. Hi, honey. Hi, honey. Welcome home. You're sleeping. Sabrina's home. Okay, so that concludes this video on gestational diabetes. I hope you enjoyed the handouts. Say hi, everyone. Hi. Where's Mama's kiss? Oh, you're looking at the screen. Give Mama a kiss. Mwah. That was me kissing. Oh, look who's home too. Did you go pee? You're so crazy. Come, Chanel. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. Look at Sabrina just blocking the whole thing. Riri, come here. Come sit on the Well, say hi, everyone. Have a great day. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. No. Say bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Oh, we love you. Blow kisses, Chanel. Blow kisses. Say I love you. Say bye, everyone. Have a good day. Say I love you. Okay, blow kiss. Blow kiss. Blow kiss. No? Everything's no. Your favorite word is no. Say bye to the camera. There's camera there. Say bye.
No.
Say bye.
No.
No. Everything is no. Okay, go wash up. Go wash up. Go wash your hands. Okay, you guys, that's it for me because my family's home, so we're gonna go have dinner. Love you. Mwah. I hope you found this helpful. And please leave your comments in the comment section below. If you are pregnant and currently expecting, congratulations, and I wish you all the best in your gestational diabetes journey. Enjoy your pregnancy, you guys.